The City of Palm Coast City Council Business Meeting. Today is Tuesday, September the 20th, 2022. It's 9 a.m. and we are in the community wing of City Hall. If you would all please rise and join me for our Pledge of Allegiance. The clerk would call the roll, please.
Mayor Alpert.
Present.
Vice Mayor Branquinho.
Right here.
Councilmember Danko.
Here.
Councilmember Finelli.
Present.
Councilmember Clufus.
Present.
Mayor, all members are present.
Thank you. In order for city staff to be able to respond to your questions or concerns, please fill out a comment card with your contact information. The comment cards can be found on the table over near the doorway or from any of our directors in the rear of the room. Public participation shall be held in accordance with Section 286.0114 of the Florida statutes and pursuant to the City Council's meeting policies and procedures. Each speaker shall at the podium provide their name and may speak for up to 3 minutes. The public may provide comments to the City Council relative to matters not on the agenda at the times indicated in this agenda. Following any comments from the public, there may be discussion by City Council. When addressing the City Council on specific enumerated agenda items, speakers shall direct all comments to the mayor, make their comments concise and to the point, not speak more than once on the same subject, not by speech or otherwise delay or interrupt the proceedings or the peace of the City Council. Obey the orders of the mayor or the City Council and not make any irrelevant, impertinent, or slanderous comments while addressing City Council, which pursuant to council rules shall be considered disorderly. Any person who becomes disorderly or who fails to confine his or her comments to identified subject or business shall be cautioned by the mayor and thereafter must conclude his or her remarks on the subject within the remaining designated time limit. Any speaker failing to comply as cautioned shall be barred from making any additional comments during the meeting and may be removed as necessary for the remainder of the meeting. With that, I would open up the meeting for public comment. Are there any members of the public that would like to come forward and address City Council at this time? Yes, sir.
Hi, good morning. Joe Runak, 7 Courtney Court. I'm just here again, City Council, Ms. Bevan, City Manager, and all involved regarding Clubhouse Drive and the cell phone tower project. It's been dragging on. We don't know if you have received an application from Diamond Communications or not, but we still want to reiterate, all of us in the C section are very much against this. This needs a special exemption to go forward, and it's just not right. I just saw Flagler Live that you had felt that the hammock was a beautiful area in the C section that should be preserved. This tower would be right in the middle of the hammock. It would change the entire neighborhood as far as the ambiance and the like. We like what is there. We do not want any other additions. I just feel it's unbelievable, frankly, in my opinion, as a homeowner for over 50 years, we had to reach into our pockets to get legal representation against the city that I live in Palm Coast, to make sure that our way of life is not threatened, is not damaged by this, as far as health conditions, as far as home value conditions, and again, just as far as the tone and the ambiance of the neighborhood. Please do not issue any special exemptions for this tower. Please put this up for further discussion as far as other locations, things of that nature. There was some recent rulings in August with the FTC. No one knows for sure about health conditions, but it certainly would not be a positive to put this up. We ask that the city council, city manager, and the like listen to the residents of the neighborhood, accede to our wishes, leave us alone, frankly, just find another spot for this tower, and let's all move on in peace and happiness. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Next speaker, please. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Robert McDonald, Palm Coast. My comments this morning are addressed to Mayor Alphen. Every week, you read a statement regarding the rules and the behavior that you expect of our residents, and we follow them out of respect to you, sir. At least 3 times in the recent months, we have had a councilman yelling and screaming back across the table. This is a total disrespect to the rest of the city, as well as the rest of the council. Recently, the council disrespected the vice mayor, and nothing was done. The same councilman then made a comment that I unfortunately wasn't here to do with health reasons. That, and I may be wrong, but I was told that the same councilman made a statement that said that no police, fire, or EMS additional should be hired to protect our city. What a ridiculous statement. And on top of that, he's also quoted as saying that he would not vote for anything that would increase our property taxes, but yet when it came time for the pay raise, the hand went up. Well, how does that justify that our taxes are not going to be raised to pay for the new pay raise? I don't have a problem with a pay raise, but don't make a statement that you're not going to vote for anything that's going to increase our taxes. So now my final question is, and this is directly to the mayor, would you please tell the residents of if and when we're going to create a behavioral disrespect and some type of punishment? Because this is crazy, because it's making the rest of the residents look like, hey, we have to come up here and we have to watch what we say. We can't get upset. We can't yell and scream, because otherwise the Flagler Sheriff's Office is going to escort us out of the room, but yet the council can yell, scream, disrespect, where the mayor has to sit there and bang his gavel up and down. Got to come up with some kind of the same rules. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Are there, next speaker, please?
Good morning. Thank you.
Steve Carr, Palm Coast. I want to thank Mayor Alphen for researching how to reduce excessive traffic on Forward Park Drive before it reopens. I do hope he will continue that research. Previous administrations have given some wild excuses to ignore the problem of 3 million cars per year through a residential area. Some of them are, the city did their own traffic and air quality studies that lasted a few weeks compared to 20 plus years of studies done by health organizations and universities. When considering traffic calming methods, the city officials then selected methods that reduce the least amount of traffic. Ask questions at city council that other cities using traffic calming methods have already solved and documented. Questions to cause confusion and turmoil among members, either to delay or deny moving forward with a solution. Reject using traffic calming methods for if the city does it for one residential neighborhood, then others will ask. Basically saying the city does not really want to resolve traffic issues within residential neighborhoods. Get mad at the messenger, not the health organization or the universities that did the studies that say children are especially vulnerable to automobile emissions health impact because, among other reasons, they breathe more air relative to their body weight than adults, are more physically active, and spend more time outdoors during times when pollution levels are at their highest. Additionally, children have more years ahead of them in which cumulative damage caused by automobile emissions can manifest itself in disease and disabilities. Children can breathe up to 30,000 times a day. 3 million cars per year going by children's homes that are only 60 feet from the roadway. They would be breathing toxic fumes and dust, not to mention the harmful noise. I ask the city to really consider what is a child's health worth. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Are there any other speakers that would like to address City Council at this time? Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mayor. Scott Corum, 27 Cleveland Court. First off, I'd like to thank City Council for all their hard work and efforts. I just want to reiterate the sidewalks on Cimarron one more time. I know that you guys all know and everybody's working real hard to get the grant. And I just want to say, once we do get the grant, because we will get the grant, that we're looking very, very forward to working with the City Council with that money and get things moving. And it's just really needed. There's a lot of close calls day after day after day, and I just don't want somebody to get hit or something worse, and then things move faster because of that. They're moving slow, but at least they're moving. And I really appreciate all your hard work and efforts. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Any other speakers like to address City Council at this time? Seeing no one come forward, I'll close the public comment section of the agenda and move forward to request for a motion regarding the minutes of the City Council for September the 6th, 2022, a business meeting.
Mayor, if I may, I would like to address Mr. McDonald.
I'm sorry.
I hear no. Okay. You got your facts wrong, sir. I never called for no hiring of police or firemen. I called for a hiring freeze as a way to cut the budget, except for police and firemen. I support the hires of our police in this budget, and I support the hires of the 5 additional deputies that our sheriff requested. So I don't know where you got that from, possibly Flagler Fake News Live, I'm guessing, but I never said that.
Okay. Any other council members want to follow up on public comment at this time? City Manager, anything?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Danko. I will make one comment. And City Manager, could you just describe the workshop that we have planned for, I guess, after the first of the year? We're going to work on policy and procedure for City Council and public comment.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So aiming towards January or February with the assistance of our city attorney on rules and procedures, but on the local level, but also from the higher level of the ethics training that City Council is required to do, and looking at how we can combine those efforts and work through those procedures.
So we'll have a full workshop discussion so every council member has a chance to weigh in on what we think is the best policy and procedure and how to interact with the public during council workshops and business meetings.
Yes,
Very good.
at the direction of council. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you for that. Now I'll ask for a motion regarding the minutes of the City Council, September 6th, 2022, which was a business meeting.
So moved.
Oh, hold on,
I'm sorry.
very quick.
Two more.
Hold on.
3 more.
Also regarding, give me a break, I got a lot of stitches here.
Gotcha.
I can't speak as fast as you can today. September the 8th, 2022, which was a special budget meeting, and September the 13th, 2022, which was a workshop.
So moved.
So I have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Does the clerk have the count?
Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Now I would like to ask our Vice Mayor to deliver the first proclamation this morning, if you would be so kind, sir.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Who do we have over here from,
Pink Army.
first off, let me take my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. Well, this is a special pleasure for me. Anything that has to do with Advent Health, you know the reasons, I don't have to go over it again. But they have a proclamation. And, excuse me, I'd like to read it. Proclamation. Whereas breast cancer is the most frequently diagnosed cancer in women, with over 287,850 new cases of invasive cancer are expected in women in the U.S. alone, with 51,400 new cases of non-invasive breast cancer and about 2,710 new cases of invasive breast cancer are expected to be diagnosed in men this year. In men this year. Whereas 1 in 8 women diagnosed with breast cancer have a family history, and 85% have no family history, with increase and incidence rates since 1990 being predominantly in women 50 years or older. And whereas early detection with timely screening mammograms has helped to boost the breast cancer survival rate to more than 2.6 million in the United States, also resulting in 40% decline in mortalities since 1989, with women under 50 seeing an even larger decrease due to early screening and detection. And whereas Padmaja Sai, MD, with Florida Cancer Specialties and Research Institute, has been a dedicated, compassionate, and decorated soldier of Advent Health's Pink Army, as she tirelessly treats and cares for thousands of breast cancer patients in the city of Palm Coast for 16 years with innovative therapies such immunotherapy and access to groundbreaking clinical trials. Whereas Advent Health Palm Coast Pink Army, with the support of the city of Palm Coast and our community, has distributed over $150,000, helped hundreds of patients with performing over 1,000 procedures in direct support to Flagler County men and women dealing with the breast cancer. And whereas the city of Palm Coast is joining Advent Health in the Pink Parade on October 9 for the 5K run and a 1 mile pet-friendly, that's funny, pet-friendly walk. Fundraising efforts to stay local and include early detection screenings, wellness and lifestyle resources, and survivorship education programs with support of those impacted by breast cancer. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, the Palm Coast Mayor and the City Council hereby proclaim October 2022 as the Raise the Pink Flag with the Pink Army month in support of breast cancer awareness. And encourage all women to pursue early breast cancer screening and other possible diagnostic services to avoid becoming one of the nation's mortalities. Signed on this 20th day of September 2022 by the Mayor of Palm Coast and Virginia City, the City Clerk. Mr. You know, before you say anything, I would like for you to do something that I asked you before. In my son's name, would you please meet me? Thank you. For those who don't know, Advent Health was part of my son's story. He worked there and he died there. So this is very special.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Your son really was part of our heroes that work in that building. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to be here again in person to bring focus to such an important initiative, which is breast cancer awareness. And at this time, we are promoting many different Pink Army initiatives and events. The one that was just mentioned, the 5K, the 1 mile walk, the pet-friendly walk. We're expecting about 1,000 people to participate, not counting those who would just come to watch. This will bring people from other cities and other counties as well to come and participate in this great event. We appreciate the partnership from the City of Palm Coast. You always supported us with our initiatives. We're very happy to be able to do this again and continue to work and care for our community. Thank you.
Want to go down for a picture?
Yes, let's all.
I think he has a few more
We
words.
got one more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my name is Tony Papandrea, excuse me, and I am the chairman of the Advent Health Palm Coast Foundation. And I do have a pre-recorded, pre-transcribed speech that I gave 3 years ago, and as Wally said, we're happy to be here in person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm not going to use it.
Nice.
I'm going to go off script and put a little of this in context. I was watching Jeopardy the other night, and when Steve Harvey came to this young lady, he said, "And what do you do?" And she said, "I am a breast cancer survivor." And the radiance on that woman's face, the joy that she showed, I said to myself, that's what this is all about. That's it. I heard my buddy John Subers on the radio this morning when he said, we get people walking into our office and say thank you. I have had Michelle come up to me, put her arms around my neck, and say thank you for saving my life. That's what this is about. I had a nurse come to me. Well, when I said nurse, how many of you thought about a young lady? Raise your hand. Yeah, you guys are chicken. You all thought of a young lady. Well, Nurse David came to me and said, "Tony, I need a doctor. We're new to this area. My wife needs a doctor so she can get a mammogram." And I said, "Well, David, they have mammograms down at the hospital." He said, "Oh, really? We still have people who don't know about our women's center at the hospital. That's amazing. We've been there 20 years, and we have a women's center. But she has a doctor now. She's getting a mammogram." And now really off script, women's center. I say Women's Center, Eddie mentioned men. I'm gonna violate HIPAA, and although it's my HIPAA, it's okay. I understand what you women go through when you have a mammogram. I had one last week. When you're in the shower, and you're showering, and you feel a lump, fear goes through. Does it not? Those of you who have survived, well, I went to the Women's Center, and let me tell you, we have the most comprehensive, amazing place to go for you ladies and the men. So I urge you, early detection, get screened, get diagnostics. Foundation Delta. Thank you for this proclamation.
Tony or Wally, could you just go on the record on how folks can sign up for the event?
The Parks and Rec.
Right.
They are free.
There you go.
Thank you, Tony.
It is October the 9th, and I think you can be approved. Anyway, it is October the 9th. Okay. Hello. I am Elaine Gonzalez. I am with John Subers. I am the foot soldier. We've been together 13 years doing this. We need it. I am going to be a little emotional. I'm 14 years in remission as of Sunday, the 4th. I want everybody to be in remission. We'll work as hard as we can, okay? October the 9th, which is Pink Army Pink Arm Parade, we'll have close to 1,000 runners. Please come. It's 7:30 to 10:30 on a Sunday morning. You'll love it. I have dogs coming with pink knee socks, tutus, children. We have bubbles. We have all kinds of stuff. The main important thing is to get it out there, get the information. Please make sure whatever you need, we're here to help, and that's what it's for. We also mentioned about the free clinic, which is here in Bunnell. All this money raised stays right here in the community. We want you to come out, have a good time, get the information, please. We want you, we're here to help, and that's what it's for. So its timeline is 6:30 a.m. the registration. Parks and Rec has done a super job helping us with all the different information and the packets and stuff. The parade gets at 7:45 in the morning. I know it's a little bit, but it's beautiful. Come out and watch everything. By 10:30, everything's kind of wrapped up. We have a day at Chick-fil-A, which is giving us beautiful donations. We have the Roadhouse. We have a lot of people. Please get on the website, and to register, it's parkonparade.com, Palm Coast. You can call the number here. We do have a code that will allow you for some type of discount. We have loads of children in the high schools coming out to help us. If you've never been, it's 3 hours of total fun. Please come out and see us. We'd love to see everyone, and everyone, we're going to move to get everyone into remission. We love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. I can think of nothing that would help bring our community closer to its goals and quality of life than collaborating together, seeing your neighbors, your friends, your family attend this event, however you can participate. So let's prove that quality of life really is important to us and make a difference. So thank you for all of those. Our next proclamation this morning is Customer Service Week, and Councilman Finelli will proclaim.
Hi, good morning. I think that's the right way to start the customer service proclamation.
Whereas our business and government systems, both locally and across this nation, recognize that making a strong commitment to exemplary customer service builds the trust of our customers and clients. And whereas businesses and governments whose professional service representatives understand and anticipate the needs and the expectations of their customers by showing commitment to regularly exceeding the customer's expectations. And whereas the City of Palm Coast Customer Service Division consistently makes a difference in the lives of the residents of the city by committing to the highest standards of service every day and routinely improving services to citizens through innovative and considerate means. And whereas Palm Coast residents have come to rely heavily on the knowledgeable and friendly exchange of information with the city's customer service representatives over the past 18 years, addressing an average of 130,000 inquiries annually on a variety of city-related matters. And whereas, since 1992, the United States Congress established the first full week of every October to recognize customer service professionals who serve daily on the front lines. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Palm Coast Mayor and City Council do hereby proclaim the week of October 3rd through October 7th as Customer Service Week, and encourage all citizens to acknowledge the contributions customer service professionals make to this community by providing valuable information and services with thoughtfulness and compassion. Adopted this 20th day of September 2022.
Ms. Schwarz is going to speak about the unsung heroes.
My name is Cynthia Schwarz. I'm the customer service manager. I want to say thank you for recognizing this week. This is something over the 18 years I've been with the city. My reps have worked so hard. There's about 17 of us, and I wish I could have every single one of them up here with me right now. We are shorthanded, but they're all on the phones right now. So I just want to thank every single one of them for the hard work they do. Like I said, I think we had 130,000 calls in this year's alone, and we're not even till October 1. So they work very, very hard, and they are knowledgeable, smart women, and I'm just so proud of what they do every day. And they strive to do the mission, and that's putting the resident as our priority and delivering that service every day. So I thank them for everything they do.
Very good. Thank you.
And we have a little short video.
I've worked in
Hold on, you can't see it.
I've worked in customer service my entire life, but this group of ladies that we have has definitely been the most rewarding one to work with.
My team is dedicated. They spend a lot of time making sure that each resident feels like the only person. They want to make sure that they are assisting the customers, getting a resolution. They're dedicated.
Customer service handles all kinds of different calls throughout the city, whether that is utility billing, whether that is water, whether that is sewer, whether that's public works, stormwater. It's a whole mess of different things that you can have in one centralized location, and we just really want the public to know that whatever you need, we're here to provide that to you. They are definitely the unsung heroes of the city.
Yes, sir, Mr. Flanagan,
Good morning,
please.
Mayor, Council. Thank you for this recognition. I just want to add Cynthia, Michelle, Lucy. I have known these ladies for quite some time. They do an outstanding job, as the other representatives do. They're our face of the city in many ways to our customers and residents. And, they have to answer questions from a broad scope of things: trash, stormwater, water, sewer, public works. And, you know, I've always stated the value of one of these reps is untold. They really bring vast information, knowledge, and resource to the city, and I'm grateful to have them as part of the utility department. So thank you very much for the recognition. We appreciate it.
Congratulations. Thank you. Councilman Clufus will now deliver a proclamation on Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Did it well. Thank you for coming up here. The man who keeps us all safe and secure. Okay. Whereas the City of Palm Coast recognizes the vital role technology has in our daily lives and the future of our nation, whereby today many critical infrastructure sectors are increasingly reliant on information systems to support financial services, energy, telecommunications, transportation, healthcare, and emergency response systems. Whereas internet users, citizens, and our information infrastructure face an increasing threat of malicious cyber attacks, significant financial and personal privacy losses due to identity theft and fraud. Whereas the City of Palm Coast has devoted resources within it solely to support the strengthening and securing of the city's cyber infrastructure. Whereas maintaining the security of cyberspace is a shared responsibility in which each of us has a critical role, and awareness of computer security essentials will improve the security of the City of Palm Coast information infrastructure and economy. Whereas the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Multi-State Information Sharing and Analysis Center, the National Association of State Chief Information Officers, and National Cybersecurity Alliance have declared October as National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and all citizens are encouraged to visit these sites and stop, think, and connect to learn about cybersecurity and put that knowledge into practice in their homes, schools, workplaces, and businesses. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, the Palm Coast Mayor and City Council officially designate October 2022 as Cybersecurity Awareness Month and encourage members of our community to recognize the importance of cybersecurity and to better protect yourself against cyber threats. Signed this 20th day of September 2022, City of Palm Coast, Florida, Mayor David Alfin. And briefly, I just wanted to thank Doug so much for keeping our city safe. Our city infrastructure, we are so reliant upon technology that it's only a mere misstep that any one of us could have that has to be protected against, and it's such an unspoken service that you're providing by keeping the city secure. And honestly, it's one of the most important pieces of our city security because we have such critical infrastructure here that our citizens are so reliant on. So thank you very much. And please, a few words.
Thank you, Councilman. Cybersecurity is very important to us, obviously, so thankful for our team upstairs who do a lot of hard work to make us secure. Also want the residents to know there's a lot they can do to make themselves more cyber secure. Throughout the month of October, we'll be sending out tips to that effect through social media on things they can do to make themselves more resilient. So thank you all for the proclamation this morning.
Very good. We now move on to Agenda G, which is appointments, which we have two different items in the agenda. So I'll ask the clerk to take us through number 5, which is to appoint a member of the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, or we commonly refer to it as the AHAC Committee.
Morning, Mayor, City Council. In 2009, an interlocal agreement was entered into between Flagler County and the City of Palm Coast. One of the stipulations in that interlocal was that the county alternate appointments to the AHAC. This appointment is now the city's responsibility, and they sent over one application received for Ms. Clymer. So she is here and available today for a little bit of a brief overview of herself. And then a Q&A session with City Council.
Very good. So with council members' permission, I'll ask Ms. Clymer to come up and speak just for a moment, and then she'll be available for your questions.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Valerie Clymer, and my family actually moved here in 1998 to join other family members who actually moved here in 1981. So we've been around for a little while. I have been helping the residents of Palm Coast since 2000 achieve their goal of home ownership. In the past few years, I have seen affordability to become a very big problem, especially for those that serve our community, our teachers, our firefighters, our police officers, even 911 operators, not to mention the seniors that are living on Social Security, and if you don't know, the average is $1,200 to $1,400 a month. This is becoming a big problem. Everybody seems to be getting priced out of the market that we want to keep here. I want to be part of the solution. Prior to COVID, I volunteered with Mid-Florida Housing Partnership. I would go to Daytona. I would help with the 8-hour home buyer education class. I would help teach the Understanding Your Credit class. Due to COVID, obviously things change. I currently volunteer with the Flagler Housing Partnership every other month, volunteer for free, teaching and Understanding Your Credit class for the residents of Flagler County at the FCAR building. I have worked and continue to work with several different down payment assistance programs, but even with down payment assistance, people are not able to afford a home in our community. I want to be part of the solution. I have reached out to people in other communities and I have done research. And I believe that there are things that we can do here to help our residents keep our workforce here, help them attain affordable workforce housing, and keep them working in our community. Let's find a way to help those that help us.
Thank you for your comments. I would ask city council members, do you have any questions of Ms. Clymer this morning?
I do have one.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your future service. Ms. Clymer, excuse me, can you actually help me to understand it, because sometimes I'm thick-headed. How are you going to help to create affordable housing without it becoming subsidized housing?
There are different ways out there. One of the models that I've actually looked at with some realtors is the possibility of getting together with some builders that are willing to build here. Maybe they build 200 homes and we set aside 20 of them for affordable housing. And during their construction, you know, maybe at the beginning they have to build 5, and then after they build 50, they got to build 5 more, because the builders got to make money. But by having them do the affordable housing, that will help people in our community. I'm looking more into what St. Johns County is doing. St. Johns County set land aside for their workforce, for their heroes, and they're working on trying to build a community of their heroes. That may be something we can take a piece of that model. There are examples throughout the country that I have been working on trying to research, and I think the start is with the Affordable Housing Action Committee, because there I have been attending over the years. I have attended quite a few of their meetings, and they've got a lot of good ideas. We just have to work together, the county, the cities. We have to work together to make this a reality. I can't do it on my own. That's why I want to be part of the committee, to try to make a difference.
So basically, we're putting the burden on the builders.
Not necessarily. It's going to have to be a combination, because city, county, everybody's going to have to give a little. I mean, I actually, at the end of 2020, was working with a builder. That builder was willing to take less commission. The lender, take less money, give more. Down payment assistance. But when it came to them coming to the city or the county to get some help, They were told no. So you have subs and everybody else wanting to do it, but the county and city is saying no.
Thank you. You answered my question, except for the part that affordable housing, it's becoming subsidized housing because you asking for the city and the county to chip in. Therefore, we're subsidizing it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Council members? I do have a question I think for the clerk. The appointment for the AHAC, is that automatically also a appointment to the, help me with this?
BDG?
No, yes, but the CATF, Community Advisory Task Force. Got it.
I don't believe so. It's the members that are part of the Planning and Land Development Regulation Board that are members of the CATFR board.
I'm sorry,
Citizen Advisory Task Force.
So they come from where? From the?
Planning and Land Development Regulation Board.
Okay.
I believe. Jason, do you have any other further knowledge on that? I know Mr.
Okay.
Papa
The reason for I just want to know if we're appointing just for this single advisory committee.
I believe so, yes.
And then the other question I would have is the results or the minutes of the advisory committee are reported back to the city council now because we're alternating with the county. Is that the way I understand it?
Those are minutes of the county. I can request a copy to be sent to us whenever they have those.
But it's our year to choose the.
It's our month.
It's our monthly appointment. Very good. Okay.
Made their appointment. Now it comes back to the city.
Very, very good.
And if I may, I just
yeah.
wanted to chime in. I just wanted to thank you for your efforts that you're obviously expending into our city and giving back to our community. And I think you have realistic expectations on what it takes to actually get something to move forward. So I just wanted to commend you for being here today.
I would reinforce that. You are the sole volunteer for this, and I precede you because I was a member and I chaired that committee or this committee for a number of years. It takes a very loud voice to make a difference, but I think that your concept of collaboration and again, along with the vice mayor, I don't think there's anyone up here on the dais which would be supportive of housing that is subsidized. I don't think that's the theme behind this. It's to find a way to get all of the participants to find a better way to produce housing that is less expensive for residents and especially for our younger career-oriented residents for the future. So if we all put our heads together, perhaps we can find that pathway forward. So thank you for that. So I would ask the clerk, do we do a roll call vote? Is that the best practice here?
A motion and a second and then a voice.
So I would ask for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion?
I just have to say that I really like your emphasis on making sure that we have workforce housing for our first responders and our educators. That's been something that has been a direct concern to me working in the education field for 22 years. And I like that you said that you're researching options because I've been reading articles as well as different creative ways of being able to provide housing within the community that where the employees work. I think it's important that our first responders and educators are able to live where the residents are that they support. So thank you for your research and your advocacy in that area.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, without any further discussion, I'll go ahead and we have a motion and a second discussion. Does this go out to the public for comment, Councilor?
I think we already provided public comment at the beginning of the agenda, but you can just make sure.
Does any member of the public wish to comment on this appointment at this time? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to say.
Come on up, and just introduce yourself so we have it for the record, please. Thank you.
My name is Rich Gilner, and I'm from the W section, and I'm a realtor. I know Valerie personally, and I think that this is a tremendous appointment. I think it's extremely, extremely important that we maintain diversity here in Palm Coast. Having lived in the Florida Keys for 6 years, from 2003 to 2009, I can tell you firsthand, it became really a challenge to try and keep people in the Keys. It's not uncommon today to see buses leaving early in the morning for the workers that we all count on, or the people in the Keys count on, going all the way down into the Keys. And it's about a 2-hour drive to get to where they need to work and 2 hours back. I don't know that we want that here in Palm Coast, and we don't want to lose the diversity that we have. It became such a challenge in the Florida Keys that Monroe County and the city of Key West, when you drive towards Key West on the right and the left, those are homes that were built, that were designated for first responders and teachers. Because teachers are really, really important, and if you don't have great teachers and an affordable community for them to live in, you're not going to get teachers to want to come and work at your schools. They're just going to say it's just impossible to live there. So this is really critical. One of the other things that's happening in the real estate market right now is there are real estate investment trusts that are very large, very, very well capitalized, a lot of investors, and they're going around and they're buying up houses. They're just buying houses right and left, and they have no intention of selling them. They rent them out because the rents are going so high. It's right now better as an investment to put money into a real estate investment trust and as a investor and get a nice return on it. So these are things, and we're blessed that we have a lot of land going out in Flagler County where maybe we can earmark some of this for affordable housing. And I just think that it's an inherent right of people that are born in America here. We're unusual in that the citizens do own housing. That's not common when you drive around the country in other countries like that. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comment. Any other members of the public like to comment at this time? Yes, sir.
Good morning, Robin McDonald, Palm Coast. As you all know, I'm a former retired firefighter, so I fight day in and day out to make sure that firefighters get whatever they need. And I'm also very supportive of this program for teachers because my oldest daughter is a New York City school teacher and she teaches in the hood. So I'm very supportive of teachers. But I don't think that this program should be just singly to first responders and to teachers to try to keep them in our school district. As you all know, a lot of us are now senior citizens, and it's getting harder and harder for senior citizens to be able to stay in their houses. So either because of health reasons, they end up going into nursing homes or assisted livings. So I think that we should also include senior citizens to take care of them, because if you asked me 20 years ago, how would I like to be a senior citizen? I would have given you a totally different outlook than I'm looking at right now. I personally have been in Advent Health 9 times this year. It's like a monthly visit. So, and I never thought that I'd be in the health condition that I'm in. So we need to take care of our senior citizens because, believe it or not, it's going to be hard for you to accept. We're all, if we're lucky, get to be senior citizens. And this is supposed to be our, quote, golden years. Well, I'll tell you what, it ain't golden. It's not even silver. So we need to take care of our senior citizens because more and more senior citizens are moving into Palm Coast. And if we want to keep the reputation of being one of the best cities in the state of Florida, we need to take care of our old people. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Any other public comment at this time? So I'll come back to the dais for any further discussion. If not, I would ask for a motion. We have a motion. So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? So I guess we'll do a roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Branquinho?
Yes.
Councilmember Danko?
Yes.
Councilmember Finelli?
Yes.
Councilmember Clufus?
Affirmative.
Mayor Alfin?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. And just a note, the minutes for the Affordable Housing Committee are actually on the county website. So you can find them there if anybody's interested.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Serve well, man.
Thank you.
Serve well.
The next item of business on the agenda is the appointments to the Planning and Land Development Regulation Board. Could you just define the action for this morning, please?
Sure, Mayor, Mayor and City Council, there are 3 openings on the Planning and Land Development Regulation Board. 1 seat in particular for District 3 has 1 applicant that needs to get appointed to District 3 in accordance with our our ordinances to ensure that council districts are equally represented. The other 2 seats are vacant seats that are open. There are 7 applicants for those 3 seats total. If you appoint today 2 members that are our alternate members, we will then also take votes for the alternate seats as well from the remaining applicants. We did invite the applicants to come. I believe there are 2 applicants in the audience for the overview and then question and answer following from City Council. So at the council's pleasure, if they would like to appoint, we can begin the process.
So, to make sure that I understand this, we can go, since we have 1 applicant and 1 applicant only for 1 district that requires an appointment, we can break that off and handle that first.
Absolutely.
So we simplify the process. If that's all right with everyone? Okay.
Question, and that's for District 3, right, Mr. Gabriel? And his term is expiring, but is it his first or second term?
He was fulfilling a previous term of a different person, so this would be his first full term.
Okay, so we don't need the 4/5,
No.
we just need a majority. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Thank
When
you.
we get to the other applicants, I will announce there is 1 applicant, Sybil Dodson Lucas, that has fulfilled more than 2 terms, so she would take the 4/5 vote from City Council.
Okay, so, yes, sir.
Okay. I believe that early this year, we all here agreed that to nominate someone for any of these boards, we would have to interview them. I think we all agreed on that. Today, we have 7. Actually, for this, it was 7 applications, and for one reason or the other, we only have 2 people here today. And one of them, it's Mr. Gross, I understand. The clerk told me that some of them had perfectly good excuses not to be here. So what I would like to do is make a motion to delay this for at least 2 weeks or to the next business meeting in order to be fair to everybody that comes to this very important board that we actually need to interview. This is probably the most important board that this city has under us. So I'll make that motion to make sure that we're fair to everybody that actually applies for this, or if they're not here, then we don't. So I don't think that's being fair because they're all very decent people, and due to the fact that some of them, maybe because of constraints of time or perfectly good reasons, the ones you explained to me before, they're not here. So I would like to make a motion to leave this to the next meeting and inform the people that they must be here if they want to be considered, so we have the chance to review them.
And would you just consider adding to your motion to make that a time certain, in other words, time certain meaning that regardless of, everyone will have the opportunity to schedule interviews, but time certain so that we don't interfere with the process of, what would be the date?
We should do it as soon as possible. We do have coverage with our alternates on the board as well.
Exactly. I made sure of that.
So how long before we have to, which meeting does this have to be time certain about?
I would say to stay in compliance, we should make the appointment no later than October 18th.
Okay. That should give. Now, is that we meet with everyone's approval? Now, this does not open up the process. This just gives each city council member time. if they choose to schedule an interview with one or more of the candidates.
Just a question.
Yeah.
Who's here today?
Today we have applicant Blase and applicant Hilton. Are there any, and I'm sorry, I don't hear.
And a third here.
And Suzanne Nicholson is here today, so we do have 3 applicants here today.
And we're missing how many?
Wait, there's. And Mr. Gabriel is here as well. I'm sorry, I don't know you, so thank you.
But we're missing how many?
You're missing 3 applicants today,
And
that one is out of the country, one is attending to work, and the other one is out of the state attending to work as well.
So we have a motion. I guess I would ask for a second, then we can have discussion. Is there a second to Vice Mayor's?
Second to discuss.
So we have a second. Now we'll have discussion. I personally would like to take the time to meet with as many of the candidates or applicants as I can. I think that I agree with Vice Mayor. This is all of our committees are important. This one is especially important with the strategic action plan that we have, unrolling in front of us. So I think my understanding is this will not delay the work of the PLDRB in any way. We're full for the moment, so we're not causing a delay or a disruption of any kind.
That was my main question.
Yeah.
And I was answered that we have alternates that actually will, for this next meeting, they will be there. So there will be no disruption whatsoever of the board.
Since there are 3 open positions, we have to make District 3 a priority, and Mr. Gabriel is here. Can we move forward with that?
So we have a motion and a second. So I think you'd have to ask Vice Mayor, so help me with this. Can that motion be withdrawn and then
Well, you can withdraw your second, and then you could withdraw your motion and make a new motion if you'd like to add that on.
Personally, a quick question. Must we nominate someone from the 3rd district to fulfill? Is that by law that we have to fulfill that position with someone from that area?
That is in accordance with our code of ordinances. That
is that encouraged or it's
a shall?
Yes, it's a shall. You have to have at least one member from each district.
Then what I'll do, I will actually not change my motion to.
So withdraw the second.
I'll withdraw.
Okay,
withdraw the second.
Withdraw your motion and restate it if you would.
Because my motion will be except for District 3, that we could go ahead and proceed today. That to the fact there's only one person available to it, and keep my motion regarding the rest of the people for the other nominations.
I'll second that.
So we only have one applicant for the one position, which has to be filled by that district member. So the thought is, let's get that one done and then reserve the other ones. Just give us a little more time so that we could meet with them.
So this is the only applicant for that district?
Correct.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And he's already on that.
And he's here.
Mr. Gabriel.
Make him come back.
Yeah, well, that would be foolish.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second, we've had discussion. I would invite the applicant. Is the applicant here?
Yes, he is.
Does the applicant wish to address City Council?
We'll make them.
No, it's fully voluntary. I don't want Robert's rules to get in your way.
Good morning, Chris Gabriel, 42 Pine Grove Drive. Not exactly sure what I need to say here, other than I've been serving on that board the last 6 months. Got my feet wet. My background from Michigan is building and development since 1995 after I got out of the service. Spent a lot of time with developers, planning and zoning. My wife and I are fairly new to Palm Coast over the last year. I just think I bring some fresh eyes and a fresh voice and hopefully some continuity and consistency to the board. I've enjoyed the time that I've spent on it. That's about it.
Very good. Well, thank you for your comment. We appreciate that. So With that, I would, any questions of the applicant at this time from city council members?
I would just say thank you for your service to our country and also to your city.
And the obvious question is that you're already familiar with the schedule and the routine, so it does not interfere with your personal schedule. You're able to obviously attend all of the meetings and all that goes with that, and preparation time.
Well, I'm self-employed. I'm a realtor. We own a couple other businesses down here, so
Okay.
we're good.
Just, if I may, so you've been there for 6 months. You've been to every meeting.
I had to miss one for the birth of a grandchild.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
There you go. Congratulations. So you obviously, according to what you said, you're developers friendly.
Yes.
Anything that you've seen on that board for the last 6 months that you didn't agree with?
Hold on one second. I appreciate the question. Let me just check over here. Counselor, can you help me with this? This is a question about the actual operation of the PLDRB. Are we okay with that, or?
I mean, I would just, because there may be a matter that's coming to city council that the PLDRB has reviewed previously and hasn't been here yet, that I would caution that you should speak in generalities and not to specific projects.
Generally.
Generally, no problems.
Good. Thank you. That answered my question.
Very good. I thank you for that. If there are no other further questions from City Council, I would go ahead. I would ask if there are any members of the public that would like to address City Council regarding this item. Seeing no one step forward, I'll come back to City Council for any final discussion. Seeing none, I would ask for.
I do want a little bit of clarification.
Yes, please.
So I did mention the appointment by the 18th. We do have 2 meetings, so if we're going with time certain, we have October 4th for a meeting that you can do the appointments, which is 2 weeks from now, or the 18th, which is the month from now. So I just wanted to get clarification on which date to bring back the appointments.
Unless someone disagrees, take the 4 weeks. That way, just in case there's any conflicts, and it doesn't slow down the process of government or the PLDRB by doing this. It just gives everybody enough time to hook up. Okay, good. All right. With that, then we have a motion. We have a second. The motion is clear to the clerk.
Yes.
Then I would ask for a roll call vote.
Actually, one more clarification, and
Yep.
the motion did include the appointment.
It did not.
Okay.
It took that out.
Okay,
And
and
so
then
we'll
we'll
need to
do a
do this
vote
vote,
after.
and then there'll need to be a motion and a second on the appointment of Mr. Gabriel.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Branquinho.
As to the first motion that I made, yes,
The first motion was withdrawn, so you're referring back to the second motion?
exactly. To,
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Danko?
Yes.
Councilmember Finelli?
Yes.
Councilmember Clufus?
Affirmative.
Mayor Alphen?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Good. Now we move forward, and I will ask for another motion, which would be for the appointment that we just discussed.
So moved.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
And I have a second, Councilman Finelli. Any additional discussion by City Council? Seeing none, I would open this up again to the public. Do any members of the public want to make comment on this appointment at this time? Seeing none, back to City Council. Any further discussion?
I just want to make
Yes,
sure
sir.
that the foxes are not taking care of the chicken ham. Thank you.
I'm speechless.
Okay. It's unfortunately, when we look at these things, it's like we getting someone with completely interest on this, on direct interest on this nomination. But in this case, we have nobody else. We have to go with what it is. And I'm not saying that you are going to be defending strictly the developers. I've had a problem with the developers in the past. That's why I have my reticences regarding this. I don't know you personally. Okay, I asked you 2 questions. One of them I couldn't even be specific, and those questions were answered. So, therefore, sir,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Please, go ahead.
Vice Mayor, I have no problem saying no. I have no problem questioning anything that comes in front of that board. Obviously, we have to follow, the master plan and the flume. But if something doesn't look right, or I'm going to question it, I am not a yes man at all.
Thank you for clarifying.
Very good.
One
Thank
more
you.
question. Upper Peninsula or not Upper Peninsula?
Grand Rapids.
Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
All right, with that, I would ask the clerk to call the vote, please.
Vice Mayor Branquinho?
Yes.
Councilmember Danko?
Yes.
Councilmember Finelli?
Yes.
Councilmember Clufus?
Yes.
Mayor Alfin?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Congratulations, and thank you for serving.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members.
You have a chance for public comment when we get to the end. I can't, we've closed out, so could you?
I'll just state, I think this is a good idea, because I think we should restate what
Okay.
just occurred. So, the city council had a motion to, essentially continue the appointments for districts 1 and 2 until the October 14th? 18th meeting. And so, in the meantime, the mayor has asked that the city council members reach out to those applicants and talk to them as part of the interview process, review their credentials that they submitted for when they were making an application for this appointment, and then it will come back on the 18th for final appointment to the PLDRB.
Can I just ask you if I'm clear on this one? We do not have to reach them individually.
You don't have to. If you want
we will
more,
do it over here like we had agreed on, do it over here to keep it transparent. That's what we decided to.
can, you have the ability to meet with to call the applicant and ask them additional questions. You obviously can't talk about that to another council member until we're up here on the dais, then you can discuss it. The process that you have in place of bringing applicants up and asking them questions, that's purely discretionary on the part of the city council. You don't have to do it that way. There's a number of different ways you can do it, but there's nothing prohibiting you to reaching out to those applicants and asking them for additional information or questions.
Thank you, Counselor. Okay, we'll move forward with the agenda, and before we begin today with the city council business portion of the meeting, I want to take a moment to discuss city council processes relating to approval or denial of items presented to council at all business meetings. For each workshop, city council receives a comprehensive overview of each item. At that time, it is council's opportunity to provide opinions and ask questions on each item. Just as a reminder, items that are quasi-judicial in nature will require council to base their decisions on only what is presented at the scheduled public hearings conducted at the scheduled business meetings. The purpose of a business meeting is for council to review and weigh all the evidence and take action with decisions based on all information presented both at the prior workshop and today. So with that, we will move on to section H of the agenda. These would be the ordinance of second read, and Counselor, if you would read number 7 into the record, please.
Yes, this is an ordinance amending the volunteer firefighter retirement system. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Palm Coast, Florida, amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 6, Retirement, Division 2, Volunteer Firefighter Retirement System and Trust Fund, amending Section 2-531, Benefit Amounts and Eligibility, amending Section 2-549, Supplemental Benefit, providing for severability, providing for severability of provisions, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Counselor. Would you like to offer a summary presentation?
Sure. Good morning. Tim Wilsey, Chair of the Length of Service Awards Program. These modifications are to enhance the benefits for the current retirees as well as active members of the volunteer organization.
Just for 1 second, modifications, not to the last presentation you had.
No, there's been no additions, modifications, or changes.
But there's no modifications whatsoever?
No.
To the, okay,
The
beautiful.
updates that are proposed in the current ordinance were, to remind you, increase all retirees to $75 per month benefit at retirement. Currently, as I explained before, they're at various amounts. Second was increase the defined benefit, and this would be a tiered approach. Instead of having to review and COLAs and et cetera, we propose from 65 to 85 with members up to 10 years of service, and the members that make 10 years of volunteer service, they would go to $100 of defined benefit per month at retirement. And the last was a graduated vesting to the share plan, which means that current interns, if they give, for an example, 2 years, instead of going nothing because they didn't make the 5-year threshold, they would get 40%. So it would be 20% per year up to the graduated vesting. So that's an overview of what the changes that were proposed are. But there's been, like I said, no additions, changes, or modifications to the previous presentation.
So, Tim, it's my understanding that through discussion, communication, and collaboration, whatever points of difference may have existed have been ironed over and smoothed out now, and this is the final decision you're coming to City Council with today.
Correct. The previous discussions was everyone aware of the proposed approach to the 175 for the current union and career members. Obviously, we are aware. These don't affect that. That process is still moving forward.
Okay.
And they've actually had meetings, from what my understanding, since then. I'm not sure where they are, but again, those things take time. So
And that was the concern at the last meeting, that those continued, that everyone was operating in good faith to continue those communications. So good, I'm very happy to hear that. So with that, I would ask City Council members, any discussion? There are no changes from the last presentation, but go ahead.
Absolutely, and even before you take it to the public comment, I would like to make a motion to approve it. So we'll come back with a motion already.
So I have a motion. I have to give everybody a chance. Any questions okay. I'm asking for a second.
I'll second.
So I have a second. Now, any additional discussion? Then I would offer this out to public comment. Are there any members of the public that would like to comment on this agenda item at this time? Seeing no one approach, I'll close public comment, come back to City Council. Any further discussion? I would ask the clerk to call the roll, please, for the vote.
Vice Mayor Branquinho?
Yes?
Councilmember Danko?
Yes.
Councilmember Finelli?
Yes.
Councilmember Clufus?
Affirmative.
Mayor Alfin?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you for your presentation.
thank you for your support.
Thank you.
We move now to item I, which is ordinances of the first read, and I would ask City Councilor to read that into the record, please.
This is item number 8. And it's an ordinance concerning the boundaries of the Seminole Palms Community Development District, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Palm Coast, Florida, amending the boundaries of the Seminole Palms Community Development District pursuant to Chapter 190 Florida statutes, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Did anything change from the last presentation?
No, sir, it did not. If you'd like, I can go over it briefly again, or we can just go to
hold
the
on.
end.
Would any members of City Council like a summary of the items? Has everybody had enough time to review their packet with the information in it?
Absolutely.
Mr. Jordan, is there any comment you'd like to make before I
No, go ahead.
That again, before you even take it to the public, I'll make a motion to approve it.
So I have a motion to approve. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second from Councilman Danko. Any further discussion from City Council? I'll open the item up to the public. Are there any members of the public that would like to comment on this item at this time? Seeing no one come forward, I will close public comment
And my motion still stands.
and return to the dais for additional discussion. Hearing none, let's do a roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Branquinho?
Yes?
Councilmember Danko?
Yes.
Councilmember Finelli?
Yes.
Councilmember Clufus?
Yes.
Mayor Alfin?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, we now move to the consent agenda item.
No, we have one more
Oh,
item.
sorry.
Item number 9.
Oh, number 9, please, go ahead.
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Palm Coast, Florida, amending Section 2-36A, Meetings of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Palm Coast, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date. If you remember, this is the item regarding the certification of election results and when we can have meetings and making sure that that organizational meeting where we swear in new council members is held after the election results are certified. So it takes out the date certain so we don't get a conflict there like we would have this year. This will prohibit that conflict from occurring in the future also.
So this takes care of it, so we don't have to address this again at city council?
That's
And
correct.
the clerk is good with that?
No changes from last
No
week.
changes, very good.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I thought you might. I have a motion to approve. May I have a second?
I'll have a second. I'll second.
Councilman Danko is seconded. Any further discussion? Are there any members of the public that would like to comment on this agenda item at this time? Seeing none, I'll come back to City Council for any additional discussion. There is no additional discussion. So I would ask for a vote, please.
Vice Mayor Branquinho?
Yes.
Councilmember Danko?
Yes.
Councilmember Pinelli?
Affirmative.
Councilmember Clufus?
Affirmative.
Mayor Alphen?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
We now move to agenda item J, which is our consent agenda. And Counselor, do you have to, you don't read that in?
No, I don't read that in, but if there's
I would
any-
ask City Council, is there any item that you'd like removed from the consent today? No?
None.
Nor do I. And this does not go out to the public,
It
right?
does.
It does, I'm sorry. Are there any members of the public that would like to comment on the consent agenda for today's meeting? Seeing no one come forward, I will close public comment, come back to the
Make
date.
a motion.
Okay, I have a motion to approve.
And I'll second it for a
And
change.
I have a second. Any additional discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Does the clerk have the vote?
Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. We now move on to the final public participation item on our agenda today. Are there any members of the public that would like to comment on any item that was not previously discussed as an agenda item today? Seeing no members of the public come forward, I will close public comment. And I would open up for city council members, any discussion by city council members for items that were not on today's agenda.
I probably don't have anything that won't get scooped up in the events. I know we have a fire truck pull today, right, at Food Truck Tuesday, and the other item being the Food Truck Tuesday. See Chief Barry Hill back there give me the nod of the victory nod, if I may. But those are the two things that I have to add, so thank you.
Well, last week, we got an email from the city stating that we should take, actually it was mandated to take a cybersecurity little seminar. I looked at that, and computers, for me, are disputers. But I looked at those videos and I said, Jesus Christ, this is going to be boring as heck. But my friends, let me tell you, I learned, and I learned well. So, Doug, if that came from you, which I believe, thank you very much. I'm a more enlightened man when it comes to my disputers, and I guarantee you that before I open another email, I'm going to check it, recheck it, and check it. I don't know all the terminology because they're in English anyway. So, but I'm a better man when it comes to knowing cybersecurity. So thank you, Denise. Thank you for this. That was very, very informative.
Very good. Thank you for that, Vice Mayor. Any comments by the city attorney today?
I have none.
Any comments by the city manager today? I'm sure you have one.
I have two.
You have two.
So as part of our administration process, emergency sole source is part of your packet. And so I would ask if you have any questions along those lines, now is the time. The second is just a friendly reminder that we are in hurricane season and we are monitoring the tropics very closely. We're working closely with our county emergency management partners, and we are a prepared city. Just wanting to convey to our members of the public to do your part and plan and be storm ready as well.
I appreciate that, and I would also thank Chief Kyle Berryhill for taking the time to make me aware of what my responsibilities are should a storm or an incident happen. So I feel confident that I have been well prepared and trained, and I would ask each of my fellow city council members, if you have a question about what you should or should not be doing in advance of a storm, please reach out to Chief Berryhill. I'm sure he'll be glad to get you up to speed so that we're all comfortable and confident and do the best on the behalf of our community. And with that, I would go to item number 14. And is that who's?
She did that. The city manager did that.
Oh, that is the item. Okay, very good. Well then, motion to adjourn. And I have a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. We're adjourned.